All right. Once again, welcome to the Fireside Chat with Realvolve for Beginners. This is Mark Stepp, your Chief Innovation Officer for Realvolve and your host for today's webinar. One of the things about this webinar, and I introduce it this way every time, I want to make sure everybody understands this particular webinar is really driven by you guys, the users. It's really intended for more of the beginner user, and the questions that come up typically are those that are beginning type stuff. If you have a very detailed question, I may have you get on like a one-on-one session with me, or use the support chat down at the bottom. If you look at my screen, first off, before I get too far, want to make sure that you guys are seeing me and hearing me. If you don't mind, in the questions box or in the chat box, either one, would you just write yes, you can hear me, or yes, you can see me, so that I know that you do indeed see my screen. Verify that real quick. Don't see anybody. Can you guys hear me? Testing, 1, 2, 3. In that control panel for GoToWebinar, you should be able to see a little area for chat and or questions. In either one of those, if you'll just write down stuff, I would appreciate it. Yes, yes. Okay, cool. All right. What I want to do is give you just some basic instructions. Over on the right-hand side is that questions box. You should have found it by now and typing in the information. Each one of these webinars, we go over particular questions that you guys have as beginners, and it can be very basic, making sure that you get the questions answered that you need to properly get started for your business. If there's something in particular that you need to know about, ask it in the questions area, and I'll go over it just with as much detail as at all possible. We have some new things that I might cover as well, if the number of questions is small. But we will go until all the questions are out, or I really have nothing more to say. So if you want to learn stuff, definitely type in whatever things that you want to know about. And it looks like I'm going to go ahead and get started. It looks like I've got one here. When syncing with Google Calendar for the first time, it will bring in all the dates, or it does bring in all the dates for the calendar. And I have thousands of activities that are not completed. How do I fix this quickly? Okay. I think I just covered this in the last meeting as well. So what happens is whenever we set up Google Sync, for those that haven't set that up yet, I do want to kind of go over that real quickly with you guys. Over here on the right-hand side in the upper right, you click on the down arrow and choose Settings. In the Settings area, we have two different things that need to be dealt with. One is your My Social Networks, making sure that you come into your My Social Networks and setting up the Google account. Once you've got that Google account setting in there for your personal Google account, you can go here to Google Settings and you can choose what it is that you want to synchronize with. Now, it will synchronize contacts and it will synchronize activities, those activities being your calendar, things like that. Now, if you've had that Google account for some time, whenever it synchronizes, it will bring in all the activities up to a certain date. Now, you can choose to say, well, I want to only synchronize activities from a certain start date. That's fine. If you didn't change that, then it's going to bring over a lot of those activities that are probably things that you've already done that were completed. But the thing is, Google does not have a mechanism in place to say that a certain activity has been completed. It always assumes that if it's passed, it's completed, which is not a good assumption. There are lots of things, especially in your real estate business, that as you go along, you're going to be doing things and get busy and not be able to complete certain activities, but they still need to be done. So what we've done is in Realvolve is we make sure that everything has a completion date. Whenever you synchronize your activities from Google back to Realvolve, those activities do not have a completion date to begin with. So you may have hundreds, or in this case, you may have thousands of activities that need to be completed. Down here at the bottom, we have an area which is really important that allows you to automatically mark any activity that up to a certain date to be complete. So you can specify right here if you want to say, well, everything since maybe the first of the month, if I go, May 1st, I want to mark everything else as complete, and then I'll do the rest of them by hand. Some of the things I've not done. So you can just select the date and click on Mark Completed, and it will go through those hundreds or thousands of activities that came over from Google that you want to have complete and not have them cluttering up your calendar. Because what will happen is whenever you come in on your dashboard and you look at either the activities list over here on the left-hand side, which is a big list potentially depending on how you filter it, or the real important one is over here on the dashboard. It's the same list typically, but it's items that if they're red, in red, they're past due, and it could be things that have gone back for a while. So as you complete them, you just check them off the list. You can check them, do whatever is supposed to be done, and save and close in this case. And what it'll do then is it'll take it off the list. Your whole goal every day is to make sure that this list on your dashboard is completely cleared out. If you do that every day, then you can go home, you can be with your family, you can enjoy life knowing that you've not left anything undone, assuming that you've got everything in the Realvolve system. So that's real important to make sure that you complete them. But if you've got hundreds or thousands of these that are past due, you won't know what you've done, what you haven't done, and you need to clear those up. So definitely take the time once you do that sync to use under the settings, go under Google Sync, make sure that over here under Mark Old Activities as Complete to select some date, range, or whatever, and then mark them complete. That'll be the best way of handling that. For those that have just joined us, want to make sure that you guys understand the format. There is a questions area that you can type in your questions, and I'd be more than happy to answer those. This particular series, this webinar that we do, is strictly for those that need answers, and if you guys don't have questions, I don't have any answers, so it'll be a really short webinar. But by all means, start typing in your questions there, and we'll continue on. Here's one. I've been playing with the mobile app, but I need access to my calendar. Is that coming soon? That is a great question, John. The thing that we are doing, hey, for 1 second, I'm going to bring up something here on my screen. Let me close. Actually, let me come over here to, I think I set this up. Yep, okay. So I'm going to bring this up here. So for those that have not downloaded our mobile app yet, we do have a mobile app. And I'm actually running the beta version of this, or a testing version of this, which I have this calendar item on mine. So if you download it from the iTunes mobile app store, it will not have this calendar piece. It will have everything else that's on the list. We do have a coming soon that kind of shows this. But what we've done, and I'm going to have to do it off my phone here. 1 second. There we go. So here is the mobile app itself, and as you can see, we can. You can't see where my finger's at or anything. I'm going to click on Calendar. So I click on Calendar, and it will show all the different things that have to be done today. Up at the top of the screen, there's a section for past due, for due, and schedule. So what we've done is anything that's past due, you can click on past due. It'll go out, check to make sure, see if there's anything that is past due. It only does the past due for the last 7 days. At least that's the way it is currently, the way we have it set up. We may be making that so that it's customizable, but at this point it only goes 7 days. Which you should be doing, and if you've got past due items, you probably won't be doing it on your phone necessarily anyway, but definitely keep those up to date. Your due activities, this is showing everything for a particular, the day that you're on, so all the things that you've got due today. I did sprint planning already with our team, so I can come over here and I can mark it as complete, so then it'll take it off the list. So this is just a running list of all the different things. Write my blog article. If I want to edit it, I can just click on it, make whatever changes to it by clicking the edit in the upper right hand button. Or if I want to swipe it and delete it, I can delete it, edit it, or mark it as complete. So I click on mark as complete. Lunch is also one of those that is marked as complete. We're doing our fireside chat right now. I do have one item on here for the showing. And I was just testing this out earlier. This is one thing that's kind of nice. Anything that is an activity that also has associated contacts or properties assigned to them, I can see the description of the activity at the top, just like I normally would. It shows what day and time it is right there. But then I can also click on either the address or the person. So if I click on Billy Byer, it will bring up Billy Byer's information. And from here, then, I can scroll around, see his tags, edit information up in the upper right-hand corner. I can see what properties are associated with him, any kind of transactions. I can click on and drill down and see those transactions, scroll through there, see the people that are involved with that, that transaction, click on and see any of the people that are in there. And it just keeps drilling down and giving you a lot of great information. Same type of thing for the property. So I can go in there and see the property information. This one is where it's pre-listed. I can see what people are involved, what showing information or marketing or notes. So all that information is accessible to you through the mobile app, and quite consequently through the activities that are linked to those. You can see them easily. Once you complete it, you just swipe and then choose mark as complete, and then it updates. So that is what's coming. I can also go to my schedule in the upper, clicked on add. Click on the schedule item, and this shows me all the things that has to be done still in a schedule, and I can change dates and do some moving around, so you can see all kinds of different things as you go along. So hope that is helpful. This should be within the next week or so. We should have this calendar piece in place. I know the due date on it is next week, but I want to make sure that everything gets tested thoroughly on it before we actually release it. The contacts, for those that haven't seen it, you can go through, do all kinds of searching to your contacts. You just go to step, anything that's got information in here. I can see that. You can see on the mobile app, you can see the categories. You can see phone numbers and email information. You can see the addresses, all the other details as far as the stage, status, married, and on the married, if you click on the married person, it takes you to that person, just like it does in the main app as well. So lots of cool stuff there. We can add and delete any of the tags. Whenever you make the change on the mobile app, it makes it immediately into the main app as well. So some great features and stuff there that's available. Hope that is helpful. Any other questions? Don't be shy. Any question is a good question. If it's something that's a problem or a challenge, I might ask that you go down here to the bottom where it says live chat support. Click on live chat support and talk to either of Gary or Nate. They're willing and able to chat with you and even take over your your screen if need be to show you how to do certain things. It's a great resource for you if you need help with that. Any other questions? Might tell you about a couple of new things that we've got while we're waiting on questions. For those that use a website to collect leads, one of the things that we do is we integrate very heavily with Zapier. And let me just go to a Zapier.com. Go to Zapier.com. And in here you can, let me go ahead and log in my screens. Whenever we share stuff like this, it slows it down a little bit, but we'll get in here. Okay, so I have some Zaps, and some of the things that we've done recently is we have created some Zaps that, is this the right login? I'm not sure that it is. Search and replace, name. You know what? I don't think I'm in the right one. Let me just do an instant new lead one here. I think this may be. We did recently update this, so maybe it just needs to be turned on. There we go. So some of the things that we've added in our Zaps, you can set up triggers within a Zap, and I've got a whole bunch of training videos on setting up Zaps, setting up triggers with the mail parser, making sure that you use that. Zillow has a Zap, so you can. A lot of people use Zillow for lead generation, and you can bring that information right into Realvolve. But something triggers. Typically, a new lead comes onto your website. Whenever that new lead information gets filled in on your website, it then gets zapped to us through Zapier to the different fields. And we've had a bunch of fields in here: name, address, phone numbers, emails, that type of stuff. One of the nice things that we have in this is the ability to start workflows. So as soon as this lead comes in, it puts it into Realvolve, and then it immediately starts a workflow. That's a very powerful piece of this. We also have the ability for you guys to do the round robin and assigning record ownership, which is important. And until just recently, we had just from this point up. So we've just recently added a bunch of additional fields so that you guys can control the leads that come in from your websites much easier. Now, one of the things that we incorporate into our contacts, let me go to a contact real quick. Actually, even on the dashboard, we have this design cross-section so you can compare all your people that are under the aware, know, like, and trust stages and the contact statuses of suspect, prospect, lead, client, and past client. Now, we have a whole nother webinar that talks about this. This is an important piece of what we do. But one of the things that we've had in place for some time is the ability under the contact tab to go in there and assign these different fields of aware, know, like, and trust from the stage field, and the contact status here for suspect, prospect, lead, and past client. Now, whenever a lead came in, it was being assigned to none, which doesn't help you a lot. So what we've got now is in the Zaps, whenever a lead comes in, you can pre-assign it to one of the different stages or one of the different statuses that would be appropriate for your usage. Most of the time, a lead comes in, I would argue that it should come in as an aware, somebody that is aware of you, but you guys don't know each other. They don't know if they like you. They don't know if they trust you, that type of stuff. They would come in under aware, and then the whole aspect of suspect, prospect, lead, some people would just send them straight as a lead and start dealing with them as a lead. I tend to say and train on the aspect of understanding that people, even leads, go through different stages. They start in as what I would classify as suspect, somebody that They're a name and an email, or a name and a phone number. That's all you know about them. You know very little about them. You don't even know if you can help them or not. And by starting them off as a suspect, putting them in the database, you can start putting them on a workflow, and that's you know, sign up here, put them on some kind of workflow that starts nurturing that suspect until they become a prospect. And a prospect is somebody that you know some more information about them. You may not know exactly what they need or want, but you know that you can probably help them. You kind of move them up the stage. And then at some point they're going to tell you, hey, I want to buy a house. I want in a certain area or something like that, and that's a more of a hot lead. That's, you know, that goes in that lead area. And then once they then turn around and either sign a listing agreement with you or a buyer's agreement with you, then they become a client. So they go through these different phases or statuses as they progress in that relationship. And that whole relationship is what we work on through this relationship status, the relationship scoring piece. There's lots of things that build in that relationship. And as you move your contacts through the different phases, the score continues to go up, and it will let you know off of the dashboard when you should be contacting people and for what reason. Now, this is just a training site. I don't really have a lot of stuff on here, but as you start using the software, it'll start filling in these zeros with numbers, and it becomes very important to you to help nurture those leads and move them up through the process to going through client, becoming in the like area, because people do business with you. I'm rattling on a little bit, I realize. This is a hot point. I love explaining this because there's a lot to this, but it's really fun for me to help people understand that people go through phases and stages of relationships, and making sure that you have them in the right relationship status is important. But helping them get through that relationship status and using the scoring mechanism to identify those people that could be moving up and to the right. Basically, everything is wanting to be moved up and to the right until they get to that point where they are a past client. You've closed on them. They purchased a house or sold a house with you, and either they do it again. People do business with you because they like you, typically. People do repeat business with you because they trust you. And moving people from like to trust through nurturing of workflows, through the workflow process is so important, and making sure that you understand how to use this is extremely important as well. But by using the Zaps to pre-assign those, that's a great start. We also have the ability now to put in a lot of the date values, so that if you're collecting information and you want to assign date values and stuff, you can do that. There's one here that we didn't have before, which was interested in property address. What property, if you've got a lead, are they looking at a particular property? And you can put that address in there. Rent versus own, what kind of record type? Is it a person or company? Typically they're going to be people, but we wanted to make sure that was in there. How do they want to be contacted, either by email, phone, or text? And then categories, and even kids. But we've added a bunch of new fields. There's more that are coming as well, so hang tight. If the field that you're needing is not there, it may simply because we've just not got all of them in there, but we're in the process of adding that. So make sure that you check that out. And I want to show you one more resource just real quickly. Over here on the right-hand side, if you guys have not used this yet, this is a cool piece of what we do. This is our walkthroughs. We have a bunch of questions and stuff that are available. Over here is an area called website links, and we've got several different things that are available for training purposes. This one for basic training, by all means. If you've not been there yet, I know we send you some emails out that that take you here. If you've not been here yet, definitely come here and start learning about adding contacts, adding listings, adding closings, or your transactions, and the setting up or building the workflows, templates, and then starting workflows. But if you take a look at the adding of the contact, click on Get Started here. Over here on the right-hand side, we do have this import from a CSV there's also one that says using Zapier to import leads, and also the round robin. These three items right here are really good. They're a little bit longer. They're 12-minute. The 12-minute one kind of goes through a lot of detail to help you guys set up Zaps. That is such a critical part for a lot of users that we wanted to spend some good time on that. So take a look at that. It's a great resource, and if you have any challenges with that, let us know. But we can help you through that process. Yesterday I was on the line with one of our users on a one-on-one meeting, and having some challenges setting up the Zap, and it's just because she didn't quite understand it. But once we got it set up, it was great, and the light just clicked on. It's like, oh, okay, I see how that all gets put together now. And then based off of that Zap running, assigning round robin users. If you're a rainmaker for your group, rainmaker bringing in those leads and making sure that those leads are dispersed amongst the other users in your account, making sure that you do it equally for everybody, making sure that you're fair about it, can be done using that round robin piece, and that's just a great resource to set that up. Follow that video. These are all just videos you click on. Some of these are PDFs as well down here at the bottom of the class resources. We do have a lot of great resources, and even come down here for additional stuff. So take a look at that if you've not been through there. Any other questions? There was one week we had this meeting, and I couldn't answer the questions quick enough, and we went long. And last week, and it looks like this week, you guys are not asking the questions quite as frequently. Anything from anybody? One thing that I do want to bring up, and this gets asked a lot, so I'll go ahead and go over that. One of the questions is with workflows, what is branching? And want to make sure that you guys understand this, because this is so powerful, and making sure that it's understood is important. So we may have, let me just pull up one here. Closing. Let me see what we've got. Digs after close. No. Do escrow. Listing escrow. I'll do this one. Okay. So we are getting ready to have a workflow webinar for those that have not signed up yet. I would highly encourage you to sign up for our next webinar, which is next week on Tuesday, I believe it is, for the show that we're going to put on between me and Kendall Young. She is the creator of the Diggs workflow. She also has her own brokerage called Diggs, and she had come up with a lot of these. And one of the things that we cover a lot is how you use these workflows, because they are so powerful. But a lot of people really get confused about the workflow branching mechanism that we have built in. So I want to make sure that you actually let me do this one. Lead. I think I've got a new lead. Here's a new lead workflow. Let me see. Call lead. Okay, so let's just use this one for an example for branching, because this is an easy way, and this may help make that light click on easier than going through one of the listing ones. A new lead comes in. from your lead generation website of some sort, Zillow, your website, whatever, Realtor.com, and it gets parsed, it gets put into Realvolve and through Zaps, and that Zap immediately starts this workflow for you. In this particular case, there are 4 items in this workflow, but I'm going to add a 5th one because this is what's kind of important. So the items that this thing does is on the first day, whenever a lead comes in, and immediately notifies the user, whoever the record owner is, or the listing agent in this case, notifies them that they have a new lead. So they get a text message that a new lead came in. Hey, you got a lead named John Smith. Here's his phone number. Here's his email. No big deal, but it's just a notification. At the same time, 0 days after the start date is whenever the lead came in, but 0 days meaning on the same day. On that same day, it immediately sends out an email to that new lead saying, hey, just wanted to thank you for registering on our website, or whatever you want to say as a new lead coming in. Then 2 days later, it's set up to make a phone call. So you can say, hey, just checking in with you again. Want to make sure that everything that you're looking for is there. Is there anything I can help you with? Blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is important. Now, you may want to do that on the same day. You may want to make that first phone call within the first 5 minutes. A lot of people do that, and very successful in converting those leads. But at some point, you have another follow-up call 2 days later. And then this one here is set up so 5 days later, then there's another text message that goes to that person. So you might go through several different scenarios over a week or so, and what happens at the end of the workflow? Well, at the end of the workflow, it's going to stop unless you do something else. So what you might want to do is create what we call a branch, and a branch can happen at any time. It doesn't have to be at the end, but it could be at the end. In this case, I'm going to say what to do next with lead. Okay, so this is more of a question to you. In this case, I'm logged in as Joe Agent, just my demo thing. It's dealing with the workflow contact. I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm going to say, well, after 2 weeks, after the start date, I'm going to do this particular activity. Let's say we had several things all the way up to 2 weeks, and now this is the last thing in my list that I need to do. So what I would do in this case was I would create a couple different actions. One of the actions would say, still hot lead, start hot lead workflow. Okay, and you'd scroll down here, and there's an option here to start a workflow, and we could choose whatever workflow that it is. I'm just going to say 90-day touch point. I'm just picking one for the lack of a better name. So what will happen is whenever this activity comes up on my calendar 2 weeks after the start date, right now the one action is hey, this is a hot lead, start the hot lead workflow. So if there was a workflow that was named hot lead, it would start it in the event that I chose to start it. But I might want to do something different. Maybe sometimes that's what happens. Sometimes something else happens. So I can come over here and say create another workflow and say maybe this is mild lead, check back in 30 days. Okay, and I start some kind of, in this case, I start some kind of 30-day workflow. Now, I don't have one called 30-day workflow, but I'm just going to grab another one. I'm just going to grab one again. Doesn't really matter at this point. And so I've got my hot lead, I've got my mild lead, and maybe I wanted to add another one, say cold lead. And 1 year follow-up, whatever. And start a different workflow of some sort. So maybe I'm just going to grab one here. And then click on save. So what happens then is whenever this workflow gets started, it will go through and add all these calendar items up to 2 weeks worth. This is, let me go ahead and add this one. So up to 2 weeks. Whenever this then gets added to your calendar, it will go through that process of popping up, reminding you that you need to do something, and it says, what do I need to do with my next lead? Or what do I need to do with the lead next? And it will give you those 3 choices. So let me just go ahead and run this and just kind of show you what that looks like real quick. I'm going to run this on Kathy. And start a workflow. You know, one thing that might be a little bit of a challenge is your lead. Which one of these I actually need to start? So I'm not sure. Let me pull this first one. Okay, what do I want to do next? Perfect. So I click on next. Joe Agent's the listing agent. That's fine. And start. I'm just going to start with today's date. Click on next. And click on done. So now what happens then is you're going through the process of the activities. If I go to the activities list, these are the different things that will happen whenever that lead comes in. Some of them could be done automatically. You could just send them straight out. In fact, I would have thought May 11th, notify. Okay, yeah, so I got a notification that a new lead came in. Might want to send this email, send the email. I'm going to skip it just because I don't want to get to that. On a couple days later, I'm supposed to make my phone call. A few days after that, 5 days after, I'm supposed to send my SMS text message. And then the 2 weeks later, what do I do next? Well, whenever I go to complete this activity, this is where those choices come up. So now I can go in here and say, well, I've talked to them, I've texted them, I've called them. I should start having a pretty good idea as far as what kind of lead is this? Is this somebody that I want to continue on with? Is this somebody that's cold and I just don't want to deal with? So you choose the different option and then click on run. And then it will then start that particular workflow and keep them on. This is the branch. This allows you to branch different directions on a particular activity. So you can choose at the time that you are going through this whether you want to continue on, whether you want to not do anything at all. I mean, I could go in here and just skip everything. Doing that basically makes that a dead lead in a lot of cases if you're not continuing something. So I recommend that you do something, put them on a monthly drip until they say, hey, I don't want to hear from you again, or hey, I'm ready to list. Those are the things that will keep you in business and help you to be more productive and help you to make more money. So that is the branch. So I hope, did anybody have any questions about that? If not, that would be good. All right, we still have a few more minutes. Is there any other questions that you guys have? All right. Well, I'm going to call this a question. Call this a done deal. Unless you guys have any other questions, say them up real quick. At least type in wait. And we'll go. Let you guys go on with the rest of your day. Appreciate everybody's time. Appreciate you coming and visiting. If there's anything else that we can do for you, be sure to email us, support@realvolve.com, or visit our website, visit our support tickets, whatever. We've got lots of different ways of helping, especially if you guys need help on certain things. Click on the down arrow, click on help, or you can actually click on the help down here at the bottom as well, and it'll take you to our help screens, lots of different help resources and stuff. So you guys have an awesome day, and if there's anything else we can do for you, let us know. Have a great day. Bye.